Hey, I'm Josh from Cairn, heavy psych band from Melbourne. We have just put out our third album, Creatures, and partway through our Australian tour. We got Brisbane this weekend, and uh, yeah, very, very excited for it.
Beautiful, Josh. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, as you say, Khan will be appearing at the first ever Nowhere Festival this Saturday, May the 6th, at the Mansfield Tavern in Brisbane with bands like Frankenbok, Dreamkillers, Vulgarite, ASV, Beast Machine, and heaps more, mate. So, should be a great day.
Yeah, it's a pretty killer lineup. I don't know many of the bands, but I had a listen through, and very excited to see a lot of it live.
For sure. So, what can Brisbane fans expect from your live show, mate?
Songs from each of the albums.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we've unfortunately changed tunings quite a lot throughout our music, so we got to try and put a set together that doesn't change too much and make it work. It's a bit of a hassle, but keeps it interesting.
You can take 10 different guitars with you everywhere you go.
Yeah, we take a couple when we drive places, but Brisbane's that bit further and don't really have a spare 3 day drive up us.
Very cool, mate. So the festivals, the beauty of them, I suppose, is there's a lot of people that catches bands that might not be there for you, but they get enjoyment out of you. So just say people are looking through the lineup and they want to know a bit more about Khan. What three songs would you suggest that they have a listen to?
Three of our songs.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, I guess maybe one from each album. Our latest album, Creatures, probably Eyes, Lungs, Arms, and Mind. Um, the album before that was purely instrumental. It was our COVID lockdown project.
Yeah.
Sort of just came out of the blue and was very unplanned. But the song Orb from that, and then from our debut album Veil, give give Control a listen.
Yep, sure easy. Well, there you
I
go,
reckon.
people. If you go along this weekend and you don't know who Khan are, that's how you get to know them. And as you said up the top, mate, like you're nearly finished your Creatures tour for the album. So what have the other shows been like?
Yeah, really good. It was our first time in Perth. We played Splits and Riffs Festival,
Oh, cool.
and it was a lot of fun. We were pretty wrecked. We had a very early flight there that day, and yeah, it just ruined us, to be honest, because the time difference as well. So we essentially got up at 1 a.m. Perth time and stayed awake all day, and it was sort of a bit of a mistake now that we think about it, but we got through it. It was a really, really good crowd and a lot of really cool bands. There was a couple of the Melbourne bands head over, Jack Harlan and Planet of the Apes.
He's that
So it was
cool,
good to
mate.
hang out and
I
yeah, yeah,
interviewed him a
it
couple of months
was
ago.
a
He's a
lot of
cool
fun.
dude. Yeah.
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 And then what have we done? We did Sydney and Adelaide as well. They were both really good shows. Good turnout, good support bands, a lot of fun. We our drummer Bo, he's from Adelaide, and I lived there. Well, both Mitch and I lived there for a little while as well. So we've got that's probably our second best audience outside of Melbourne, I'd say. So it's always good fun going there and catching up with old friends and playing at the Cranker.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and unfortunately we had to pull out of Sunburn as well. That was last weekend. We just weren't able to make it work. So, um, but yeah, looking really forward to getting back to playing up in Brisbane.
Shit, yeah.
And
And
then we've just got our Melbourne launch. Oh, it's about a month off now.
yeah,
It's
that's
been a
the
pretty spread
Howler.
out tour. Yeah,
At the Howler in Melbourne on June the 3rd, I believe.
yeah, mate.
Yeah. So what
So
what
I've never actually been to Howler, so
I've never
I'm
even heard of
very
it.
much looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a bigger or medium to big sort of venue, but we've worked with another couple local bands to put on like a triple headliner sort of event, because we wouldn't be able to pack that place out by ourselves.
And who are those other bands, mate? Like what do you got planned for that one?
So we got Lucid Planet and Mushroom Giant are the co-headliners. Mushroom Giant have just put out their, I think it's third album as well, second or third, maybe more. I'm not sure. They've been around for a long time and have had releases throughout the years. And Lucid Planet are launching their first album's vinyl.
I
And
know.
then we've got Foot and Bear the Mammoth playing as well. So yeah, pretty stacked lineup.
Yeah. And of course, you're touring on the back of your latest album, Creatures, which came out back in February. So, how's the early response been for that?
Yeah, really positive. It's like I said earlier, our last album before this was instrumental, so there were a lot of people that were happy to hear vocals again,
Yeah.
which is quite the compliment. But yeah, and yeah, it's gone well. Like the uh, the Doom charts were pretty supportive of us. We charted pretty well for Feb, and we've sold a fair few pre-orders and stuff for our vinyl. And just yeah, generally people pretty positive about it. Which yeah, is fantastic. That's what you want to hear when you put out an album.
Most definitely, man. And your press release calls it your heaviest, darkest, and most dynamic album to date. Would you agree? And if you do, how so?
Yeah, I'd have to agree because I helped write that. So,
Well,
but yeah, it's definitely. Well, I think it's got some of the heavier moments that we've done. And it's a bit more dynamic. Like it goes from the darker sort of chill vibe to the explosive, energetic, and loud sections quite a bit throughout the songs. Which we've sort of done a bit of in the past, but not to the same extent. Like the other songs are more like the slow build. Like in Vale, there's a lot of big build ups and stuff like that. And this one sort of just goes a lot more light and shade.
so is that something that you continue down with the next few records, or not sure?
Yeah, well, interestingly, this album was written years ago for a different project, but I wrote it in between writing Vale. Originally, I wrote it for a project that I was in, a two-piece, and I had like a baritone style guitar that I would loop and play over. And we only ever did a couple of shows and never anymore. And the songs were sitting there in a more raw, basic form than what they are now. And then a couple of years ago, we put out Monsoons and then we were thinking about what to do next. And Daniel and a couple of friends always said they really loved the album Creatures. And we're just hoping that I guess I would actually do something with them. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I can give it a go, turning them into Khan songs. And I turned a lot of the original guitar parts into the bass parts, and then wrote new guitar parts for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's got a similar vibe but different enough. Yeah, it still sounds like Khan, I guess. Yeah. And then yeah, for future stuff, I reckon it's just sort of yeah going. It's not exactly. I like to change it up from release to release. I don't want to do an AC/DC and put out the same album 20 times.
How many people away with that?
And I guess it's yeah, that's right. I guess it's also just the journey of our musical interests and what we find good to listen to and how that influences our writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the new stuff is, yeah, it sort of has a bit of each of our previous albums in it, I'd say.
Very cool. And I believe that you're off to tour the UK and Europe planned later on this year, mate. Can you tell us more on that, or?
Yeah, well, nothing's announced yet, but we're in the planning mode. So we're hoping to get over there and do a similar thing to what we did last time, but hopefully bigger and better shows. Yeah, we're just in the process of trying to lock in dates and other bands and yeah, in talks with a lot of people. But yeah, very, very exciting and very excited to get back because last time was a lot of fun. It was a lot harder work than what we all expected, but both myself and Mitch had never been out of the country either, so that
Oh,
was
wow. Would have been eye.
a pretty, yeah, absolutely, quite the experience. We didn't really get to do any touristy sort of crap, which I don't really care anyway. If I really did care, I probably would have gone previously.
Probably true.
Yeah, it was a lot of time in the cars. I think we did like 9,000 Ks, and we drove all ourselves. And then yeah, just you drive into the venue, play, and then go to the accommodation, sleep, and do the same thing the next day.
Life on the road is nowhere near as romantic as what people make it out to be, is it? It's fun, but it's like people make
Oh no, yeah.
thinking you're out every night drinking and you're having a ball. It's like
Oh yeah.
you show you go
We
home.
had so many friends. That's right. Yeah, we had so many friends saying like, "Oh, when you're here, you have to go and check this out." Like, no, we can't. We're busy.
We're actually working. Might not look like work, but we're actually working.
Yeah, working and not making money. So
Doesn't leave much time to have fun, does it?
yeah.
Shit, all right, man. Well, thanks for your time tonight, Josh. Carter will be playing at Nowhere Festival in Brisbane this Saturday, May the 6th. And they'll also be playing June the 3rd in Melbourne at the bar that neither of us know of called the Howler for the album launch.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me, Kris.
No worries, brother. I'll be at the festival this weekend, so we'll catch up and have a beer.